Canine dog bit the nanny at breakfast. What they found in the baby food shocked everyone. The morning sun poured warmth into the Vezemi. Children's laughter rang in the kitchen, where the faithful dog Baron, a former service shepherd, lay nearby. But his gaze suddenly became sharp, watching the nanny's every move. The peace of the house began to crumble. The secret hidden in the bowl of porridge threatened to turn the family's life upside down. What did Baron see? Why didn't he trust the nanny? This story will reveal the incredible devotion and instinct of the four-legged hero who protected the baby from an invisible threat. The morning in Vezemi began quietly. The sun poured into the kitchen of Andrei Volkov's house, warming the wooden table. Andrei, a former soldier, poured boiling water into a worn mug. The aroma of coffee was calming. His life now revolved around Masha, his 2-year-old daughter, whose ringing laughter filled the house. She sat in a high chair, her curls falling over her forehead, humming a meaningless tune. Beside her lay Baron, a shepherd with amber eyes. The scars on his face reminded him of his past in hot spots. Baron watched Masha with the patience of a guard. When she swung her spoon, he tapped his tail on the floor. Andrei placed a bowl of porridge in front of his daughter, adding bananas and cinnamon. Her favorite. Masha clapped her hands, and the spoon splashed in her hand. Andrei watched her eat, and felt the anxiety in his chest recede. The war was behind him. Here, in this kitchen, life seemed simple. Baron rose, pressed himself against Andrei's leg. It was an old habit. In the past, he had saved Andrei, pulled him out from under the rubble, looked for explosives. Now he was just a dog, but the connection between them was not broken. Andrei scratched him behind the ear. The Baron sighed. Masha swung her legs, holding out a spoon with porridge to the Baron. He has his own food, Andrei smiled. Masha giggled, as if she had deceived her father. The lock clicked in the hallway. Vera, the nanny, entered quietly, closing the door. She was wearing a light blue cardigan and holding a canvas bag. "Good morning," she said calmly. Masha perked up. Vera waved her spoon. Vera smiled, putting her bag on the table. She was punctual, caring, had been helping Andrei for 6 months already. He appreciated her stability, but the Baron looked at her differently. His gaze was cold, studying. He did not growl, but did not relax either. Andrei noticed this, but waved it off. "He is careful," he told Vera. She nodded. "I understand. Such dogs do not forget the service." The kitchen breathed with morning warmth. Masha drank, dangling a spoon in a bowl. Andrei took a sip of coffee, watching the sunbeams play on her curls. Vera fussed at the table. Her movements were smooth, familiar. She asked Masha about her plush rabbit, about the drawings on the refrigerator. Masha giggled, porridge smeared across her chin. The Baron lay at pantries. His amber eyes never left Vera. Andrei noticed how the dog tensed up, but waved it off. Just being vigilant, he thought. Vera took Masha's bowl and added a spoonful of porridge. "Another piece, princess," she said, smiling. The Baron suddenly froze. His ears stood up, his body tensed like a string. His gaze was fixed on Vera, on her hand holding the spoon. Andrei wiped his hands with a towel, frowning. He knew that look on the Baron. That's how the dog looked in combat zones when he sensed a threat. "Baron," Andrei called quietly, hoping to defuse the moment. The dog didn't move. His claws dug into the tiles, his tail dropped. Masha hit the table with her spoon, giggling. Vera turned to her, continuing to speak affectionately, but the Baron didn't blink. His ears twitched slightly, tracking the movement of her hand. Andrei stepped toward the table, as if adjusting the plates, but in fact he wanted to be closer, just in case. He knew the Baron. He didn't attack without reason. This stillness, this look. They screamed danger. The kitchen seemed ordinary. The nanny was feeding the child. Masha was happy. Sunlight poured onto the table. But the air became heavy. Andrei felt the silence thickening, as in those minutes before the explosion on patrol he tried to drive away the thought. Vera was a part of their life, took care of Masha, never gave cause for suspicion. But the Baron saw something that Andrei did not see. Vera brought the spoon closer to Masha. Quote, "One more bite," she sang. The Baron tensed even more. His shoulders slumped, his eyes were burning. Andrei opened his mouth to call the dog again, but he didn't have time. The Baron lunged. His claws scratched the tiles, his body darted across the kitchen. Vera screamed. The spoon shook, the porridge splashed. The Baron clamped his jaws on her forearm. The bite was powerful, but precise, without jerks, without fury. Only control. Masha screamed, her spoon fell on the tray. Andrei froze, his heart pounded as if in battle. "Baron, ugh!" he barked. His voice trembled from the order hammered into him by years of service. The dog let go instantly. Vera recoiled to the counter, clutching her sleeve. Blood appeared in spots. Masha was sobbing. Her small body shook in the chair. Vera, gasping for breath, she squeezed out, "Your dog, he went crazy. He almost tore me apart." Quote, Andrei picked up Masha and pressed her to his chest. Her tears soaked his shirt. He threw Vera a towel. "Hold tighter." His voice was sharp, like a command. Vera pressed the cloth to her hand. Her eyes sparkled with pain and anger. The Baron retreated to the pantry. His chest was heaving, but his gaze was riveted to the spoon that had fallen to the floor. A pale pink stripe glistened on the metal, not like porridge or banana. Andrei followed the dog's gaze. His pulse quickened. Something was wrong. The smell from the bowl on the table gave off something metallic. Alien. Vera continued speaking. "He attacked for no reason. Did you see?" Quote, but Andrei didn't answer. He rocked Masha, trying to calm her down, but his thoughts were spinning. The Baron never bit without a reason. This dog had been through fire and water, saving Andrei in the ruins. His instincts were more accurate than any words. The neighbors' voices were heard outside, alarmed cries. Someone knocked on the door. Andrei didn't move. His gaze darted between the spoon, the bowl, and Faith. The silence in the kitchen became oppressive. The Baron stood straight. His eyes slid to Andrei again, as if to say, "I found something." Andrei swallowed. His instincts, hardened by war, whispered, "This is not an accident." The Baron was not mistaken. Something was hidden in this porridge, in this spoon, in this woman whom he led into his house. The kitchen fell silent, but the silence was heavy, as if before a storm. Masha, sobbing, pressed herself against Andrei. Her curls stuck to her wet cheeks. He rocked her, whispering, "It's okay, baby." Vera sat at the counter, clutching a towel to her hand. Blood soaked the fabric, her face pale. Quote, "Your dog is dangerous," she breathed out. Her voice trembled with pain. Andrei didn't answer. His gaze fell on the spoon lying on the floor. The pale pink stripe on the metal seemed alien. The smell from the bowl on the table hit his nose. Not banana, not cinnamon, but something sharp, metallic. Sirens sounded outside. Red and blue flashes broke through the curtains. The door swung open. Medics ran in with a stretcher. 2 police officers followed them. Their hands were on their holsters. Vera pointed at the Baron. "This dog, he attacked for no reason." Her words cut, but Andrei looked at the Baron. The dog stood calmly by the pantry, but his eyes never left the spoon. One of the medics examined Vera's hand and bandaged it. She winced, but continued to speak. "Mine was feeding Masha, and he just rushed at her." Andrei held Masha tighter. The Baron did not move. His gaze was clear, like a signal. The policeman stepped forward. Quote, "Mr. Volkov, get away from the dog. We have to take her." Andrei clenched his jaw. He wanted to shout that the Baron had saved lives, that he was not dangerous. But Masha sobbed, and the words stuck. He lowered her into the medic's arms, went up to the Baron, and put on the leash himself. The dog pressed itself against his hand, casting one last glance at Andrei before stepping toward the van. The door slammed shut with a dull sound. The house was empty. Andrei returned to Masha, picked her up in his arms. She fell silent, burying her face in his shoulder. The sirens died down, but the questions burned in his chest. He looked at the table, the overturned chair, the half-empty bowl, the spoon on the floor. The pink mark on the metal seemed like evidence. Andrei took a paper towel, carefully lifted the spoon, holding it away from Masha. The smell from the bowl was stronger, bitter, wrong. He put the spoon on the counter, then took the bag and carefully scraped some of the porridge into the other. His movements were precise, like on a mission. He sealed both bags, hid them under a stack of towels. The neighbors were still standing at the porch, their voices muffled. Andrei did not open the door. He pressed Masha. Her breathing became more even. She was falling asleep. The silence returned, but not the same as in the morning. It was oppressive, the complete absence of the Baron. Andrei sat down at the table, looking at the bags. He thought about the police, about handing over the evidence right away. But his instincts said, official routes mean delays, paperwork, questions. He needed answers now. He remembered Svetlana Kovalova, the toxicologist he'd worked with in the army. She was precise, unyielding, one of those he trusted implicitly. If anyone could solve the mystery of this mess, it would be her. Andrei laid Masha down on the sofa, tucked the blanket in, and placed her stuffed rabbit next to her. She didn't wake up. He went back to the kitchen, got the bags, and put them in an envelope. The smell was still there, subtle but alarming. The Baron knew. He'd reacted before Andrei noticed. Andrei grabbed the keys, glanced at Masha's sleeping body. Quote, "I'll be back soon," he whispered. The envelope in his hand felt heavier than lead. He knew where to go. Svetlana's clinic stood on the outskirts of the village, between an old store and a car repair shop. No sign, just a glass door with a worn plate. Andrei walked in. The smell of disinfectant hit his nose. Svetlana came out of the office. Her dark hair was now silver, but her gaze remained sharp. Quote, "Andrei Volkov," she said, smiling slightly. "You once promised not to show up without warning." "I need help and silence," he answered. She nodded. Her face became serious. In the lab, the shelves were filled with jars and devices. Andrei put the envelope on the table. It was from Masha's breakfast. Something was wrong. Svetlana put on gloves, opened the bag with a spoon, sniffed, frowned. Quote, "This is not porridge," she said. Then she took the bag of porridge, inhaled, shook her head. A sharp smell, not food, something chemical. Andrei clenched his fists. The Baron knew. He bit the nanny when she brought the spoon to Masha. Svetlana looked at him. "If this is what I think, you came to me right, not to the police. Too much paperwork." She sealed the samples. "Give me a couple of hours. I'll run the chromatography, call you as soon as the results are in." Andrei nodded, squeezing her shoulder in gratitude. He walked out into the night. The air smelled of rain. The phone blinked with missed calls, but he was waiting for only one from Svetlana. His world was already beginning to crumble, and the answers were close. He knew the Baron was right. Something was hidden in that mess, and it threatened his daughter's life. The call from Svetlana came after midnight. Andrei walked around the living room, the floorboards creaking under his steps. The phone lit up with her name, and he answered instantly. "Andrei, I ran tests twice in the porridge ethylene glycol." Her voice was even but firm. Andrei squeezed the phone. His eyes darted to the sofa where Masha slept, clutching a plush rabbit. "Antifreeze," he exhaled. His voice trembled. "Yes," Svetlana confirmed. "The dose is small, but dangerous if taken repeatedly. For a child her age, kidney failure in days." Andrei leaned against the wall, his knees weakened. He had seen the war, the explosions. But the thought that Masha could have treated herself to this for breakfast tore his heart apart. The image of the Baron surfaced in his memory. His look at the spoon, a decisive jerk. "He saved her," Andrei whispered. "I doubted him." "And he did." Svetlana softened her tone. "It was intentional. Ethylene glycol does not get into the porridge by accident. Someone added it." Andrei clutched the phone. Fury mixed with disbelief. "Vera. She fed Masha. She was there." "I can't say who," Svetlana answered cautiously. "But the sample is fresh, without impurities. This is not an accident." Andrei glanced at Masha. She sighed in her sleep, not knowing how close she was to trouble. Quote, "Thank you," he said in a firm voice. "I'll figure it out." Svetlana warned, "Be careful. The court needs a motive, proof." Andrei ended the call. The silence of the house was oppressive. It smelled of cinnamon, but underneath there was a sharp metallic taste. He took out the bags with a spoon and porridge from under the towels. The plastic rustled under his fingers. The Baron was in a cage, Vera was in the hospital, Masha was sleeping, and there was poison in her porridge. Andrei knew where to look for the truth. In the closet there was a nanny camera, recording day and night. He pulled out the device, took out the memory card, inserted it into the laptop. The screen lit up with rows of timestamps. Ordinary life. Masha laughs. Vera washes the dishes. Andrei scrolled until the morning. The black and white picture came to life. The kitchen, the edge of the table, half of Vera's back, Masha's curls. He sped up the playback. Vera puts down her bag, gets a drink, washes a cup. Everything looked harmless. But at 7:38, Vera turned slightly to the side, away from the camera. Andrei froze, his heart pounding. A small bottle flashed in her hand. She opened it, holding it low, and poured a thin stream into the bowl of porridge. The movement was quick, habitual. She stirred with a spoon, smiled at Masha, as if nothing had happened. Andrei zoomed in on the frame. The bottle was blurry, without a label, but Vera's gestures gave her away. She added something to Masha's porridge. He pressed Y. Vera stroked Masha's head, brought the spoon to her, smiling. The Baron saw it. His stillness, his gaze, his jerk. Everything became clear. He stopped the poison before the spoon touched Masha's lips. Andrei took screenshots, saving them in a secure folder. Rage burned his throat, but underneath it there was guilt. He doubted the hero. He trusted Vera with his daughter. He opened the laptop again, but his thoughts were interrupted by a call. A message from a friend at the station. Detective Elena Smirnova was on duty today. Andrei grabbed his jacket, tucked the laptop under his arm, and glanced at Masha. She was sleeping, hugging the rabbit. Quote, "We'll fix everything," he whispered. The Vyazem station smelled of coffee and antiseptic. Elena met him in the hallway. Her dark hair was gathered, her eyes sharp. Quote, "Andrei Volkov," she said. "Long time no see. What brought it on?" "It's serious there," he answered. His voice was even. In the interrogation room, he opened his laptop and showed the video. Vera, a bottle, a spoon. Elena leaned over, her face tensed. Quote, "Are you saying she poisoned your daughter's food?" she asked. "The video speaks for me," Andrei answered, and Svetlana confirmed. "Ethylene glycol. Masha is already showing signs." Elena frowned. This wasn't just a fight. Child poisoning is federal level. If the evidence is confirmed, the Bureau will intervene. Andrei exhaled. "I don't care who takes it on. I want Masha to be safe and the Baron to be freed. He's in a cage, and he saved my daughter." Elena closed the laptop. "I believe it, but protocol is protocol. The Baron will remain under observation until we convince the prosecutor. The bite needs to be reclassified." Andrei nodded, although his chest tightened. Quote, "Act quickly," he said. Elena crossed her arms. Quote, "Bring everything. The toxicology report, the video data on Vera." What was her full name? Andrei shook his head. "Vera Sokolova. That's what she said, nothing else." Elena frowned. "Don't interfere yourself. We'll find her." Andrei walked out of the station. The cold of the night cut his skin. He thought about Masha, about Boron, about the smell of poison in the porridge. The next day, he took Masha to the clinic. The reception area smelled of crayons and antiseptic. Dr. Igor Petrov, a man in his 50s with kind eyes, walked in with a tablet. Quote, "What happened?" he asked. Andrei lowered his voice. "We need to check for toxins. These lenoglycol. Perhaps she took small doses." Igor frowned. "Antifreeze, are you sure?" Andrei nodded. "There is a toxicology report." The doctor began the examination. Masha whined when blood was taken. Andrei whispered consolation to her, but every shudder she made his heart squeeze. Igor returned with the results. "The kidneys are working, but there are signs of stress. Elevated creatinine. There was exposure to a toxin." Andrei squeezed the edge of the table. Quote, "Did she eat it?" he asked. "Yes," Igor answered softly. "The level is not critical, but without intervention it could have led to organ failure." Andrei clenched his teeth. Rage and guilt choked him. He trusted Vera with Masha, and she almost killed her. Quote, "Drink more fluids," Igor said. "Bring her in 2 days. If there is a fever, call immediately." Quote, Andrei carried Masha to the car. Her rabbit dangled in his hand. She looked paler, quieter. Guilt cut deeper than rage. The Baron saw a threat, but he did not. At home, Andrei noticed Vera's bag in the closet. He had not touched it before, but now questions were burning. He pulled out the bag. Its weight surprised him. He unpacked the contents: checks, gum, glasses. But deeper in the sweater lay a notebook with a tattered cover. Andrei opened it. The handwriting was uneven. The ink had soaked into the paper. This girl is special. She trusts. The dog is watching. I will do better. The pages were frightening. Masha's name was repeated. Drawings, children's figures, the dog's crossed out face. She will not leave. The dog ruins everything. Andrei squeezed the notebook. Rage boiled. This is not caring, this is obsession. Between the pages, a newspaper clipping. Headline: Woman convicted of child abuse. Photo of Vera's face, but under the name Marina Gordieva. Andrei froze. He checked the documents in his bag. An ID for Vera Sokolova, but another for Marina Gordieva. The same face, but tougher. He opened the database. Marina Gordieva, 35, convicted of negligence, 18 months in prison, parole. Whereabouts unknown. Andrei clenched his fists. Vera was Marina, the liar who lived in his house. She poisoned Masha. The Baron knew, and he was blind. The night in Vezyumy was dark. Clouds hid the stars. Andrei sat at the table, clutching a folder of evidence, a notebook, an ID, a clipping. The message from Elena Smirnova came suddenly. She ran away, left the hospital, the documents are fake. Alias confirmed. Andrei froze. Marina Gordieva, aka Vera, had disappeared. Rage and fear squeezed his chest. Masha was sleeping on the couch, her rabbit pressed to her chest. Every rustle in the house seemed like a threat. Andrei checked the locks, pulled the curtains. He couldn't wait. The police were looking for Marina, but she knew their house, Masha's habits, her laughter. He called Elena. Find her, she won't stop. Elena answered tiredly. We're trying. Don't look for her yourself. Take care of Masha. Quote. Andrei hung up. The anticipation was killing him. He sat down next to Masha. Her breathing was even. I won't let her touch you, he whispered. After midnight, the Baron barked low and sharply. Andrei jumped up, grabbing the flashlight. Masha stirred, but did not wake up. The Baron stood at the back door, his fur standing on end, his eyes glowing. Andrei turned off the light. The house was drowning in darkness. He looked out the window. Moonlight flooded the yard. A shadow flashed by the barn, a hooded figure, hunched over with a bottle in his hand. Andrei's heart began to pound. Quote, Marina, stop. He shouted. His voice was firm. The Baron growled, standing between him and the door. Andrei opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Marina turned, her eyes shining. Quote, I meant no harm, she said. Masha is special. She's mine. Andrei clutched the flashlight. She's my daughter. Marina picked up the bottle. Her hand was shaking. Quote, the dog ruined everything, she hissed. The Baron lunged forward. His growl cut through the night. Marina froze. The bottle fell, hitting the grass. Sirens howled. Red and blue lights filled the yard. Policemen jumped out of their cars, shouting, throw it on the ground. Marina screamed. Her words were mixed in sobs. The officers threw her down, the handcuffs clicked. Elena went to Andrei. It was all over. The Baron pressed himself against his leg. His gaze followed the car taking Marina away. The trial was quick. In the courtroom, Vyazam, Marina sat in handcuffs. Her eyes were burning with madness. The prosecutor presented the evidence. Svetlana's report, the video from the camera, the notebook with her notes. Quote, I saved her, Marina screamed. The judge hit the gavel. The verdict, 25 years without parole. Andrei exhaled, holding Masha in his arms. She slept, not understanding. The Baron lay at his feet, his eyes calm. A crowd gathered on Vezem Square. Banners fluttered. Children held drawings of the Baron. The mayor announced, Baron the hero Vizem. He saved the child. The crowd applauded. Masha clapped, shouting, Baron is a hero. Andrei put a vest on the dog that said, Protector. The Baron stood straight. His tail swung slightly. Andrei whispered, you did everything right. The house on Lipovaya Street has changed. Masha ran, laughing. The Baron followed her. His eyes were soft but watchful. Andrei looked at them, holding a mug of coffee. Above the fireplace hung a sign: Baron, protector, friend, family. In the evenings, they sat by the fire. Masha fell asleep on Andrei's lap. The Baron lay at her feet. The world was fragile, but with the Baron by his side, it was protected. Andrei knew their guardian would never let them down. No.